else on. We have another community grades that history support the divided percent and the grade median, the end of the lower quartile, and then 25% of the grades are from the lower quartile to the lower extreme. So you can see the ranges in the two are different. The range of history has a much wider range than English, and history's median is quite a bit higher. It looks like it's at about 88, where English median is 80. Again, the line that guides your box is the median. So let's read our options and see which one is best supported by the information in the box plots. So students are more between 70 in history than in English. So here's 70. When we look, students are 25% of students scored below a 70 in English, but 70 comes here on history, which is not the full 25%. So they're actually more likely to score below a 70 in English. That is not true. G, students are more likely to score above a 90 in history than in English. Well, 90 is right here, and it looks like 25% of both history and English scored above a 90. So students are actually equally likely to score above a 90 in English and history. So that is not true. H, students are more low in English than in history. Well, let's find our 80. Well, in history, the 80 falls in this third quartile. It's in the box, but it's to the left of the median. And in English, 80 is actually the median. So 50% of students scored below an 80 in English, and looks like less than 50, like here. So that's less than 50. So that looks like it's true. Let's go ahead and read J. And students are more like 90 in English than in history. Well, 80 and 90. Well, 80 and 90 is, this is 25%, and this is, looks like about another 12%. And then this is only 25%. So students are not more likely to score between 80 and 90 in English. They're more likely to score 80 and 90 in history. So H is in fact our correct answer in 80 than in history. Remember, there's the scores are divided into fourths. You have your upper quartile, your median, and then your lower quartile. Your median is in your box. This is your upper extreme, lower extreme. And then you have your 50% that's in your box, and your median separates the 50%. That's box. The net below shows the dimensions of Michelle's living room. She is going to put wallpaper on the living room walls. What is the difference in square yards between the total and lateral surface areas of the room? We discussed earlier the difference between total and lateral. Total would be all 6 of the sides of the net, and lateral are just the ones that are up and down. So we do not want to include the floor or the ceiling. We only want the vertical or lateral surface areas, so floor and ceiling. So looking at our dimensions, we can see that the floor is 6 yards by 3.5. So I'm just going to write 3.5 times 6 on that one, and the ceiling is the same. Now these two that are the side walls, they are 3.5 times 4.2. Because when this folds up, these two sides go together. And then this one over here is the same. Okay. Then we have our other walls, and they are 4.2 times 6, 4.2 times 6. Okay, calculate with our wall, and we have 4.2 times 6. Remember, when you're multiplying decimals, you multiply like normal, and then you add the decimals back in at the end. So 6 times 2, 12, put your 2, carry your 1. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. I have one number behind the decimal, so I need to move my decimal over one place. So we have two of those. So we're going to multiply that times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. Write my 0, carry my 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 5. Again, I have one decimal. I'm going to move my decimal over one place. I'm going to circle this answer because I'm going to surface area together. So we got this one, we have this one, and this one. Let's move on to our side walls here, which are 3.5 times 4.2. So 2 times 5 is 10. Put my 0, carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now we have, when we're multiplying by the 4 now, so we have to put our first number under the 4. Our 1's place goes here, so I'm going to put a 0 there so I don't forget and write it there. So 4 times 5 is 20. Put my 0, my 2. 4 times 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Going to add them. Count my decimals. I have two numbers behind decimals, 1, 2. So this is 14.7. I have two of those, so I'm going to multiply by 2. I don't have to multiply the 0. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry my 1, plus 1 is 2. I only have one decimal. So these two walls are 29.4. I circle those to signify I'm going to need that number later. Okay, now we're going to find the floor and the ceiling. So the floor is 3.5 times 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry my 3. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3, 21. I have one decimal. I'm going to move that over there. So my floor is 21, but I have two of them, so times 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So my floor, now we have the floor and ceiling, and that's these three numbers together, and that will give us the total surface area. So now, unlike with multiplying, when you're adding, subtracting decimals, you must line up your decimals. I don't have to put that 0 behind 42, but if it helps keep you straight, by all means do. So we have our decimals lined up. We're adding this up to find our total surface area. So 4 plus 4 is 8. Make sure I put my decimal down there. 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry my 1. 5 plus 1 plus 4 is 12. So my total surface area is 121.8. But I need to subtract out my lateral surface area, which is the walls that go up. So those would be 50.4 and 29.4. Do together, I have 50.4 plus 29.4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 9 plus 0 is 9. 5 plus 2 is 7. So I have 78.9 as my lateral. So I need to subtract the lateral from the total. Going to come down here. Hopefully you can see all the math. My total minus my lateral. Line up my decimals. So decimal there. Cannot subtract 1 from 9. 9 is bigger than 1, so I need to borrow. 11 from 9 is 2. And then 11 minus 7 is 4. So the difference in square yards between total, this is my total, and my lateral is 42 square yards.